Hi all, wish you all a happy learning. And today's agenda is how do you save data frame to an CSV file and what is the role of Pickle module. So to start with, let us take up the first agenda of saving files. Before starting with the operations, we have to import necessary packages. Here we are going to import the OS package, and the purpose of OS package is to know what is the present working directory you are working at, and if you want to change it to a new directory, you can use the chdir command to change it to a new directory. So now let me run this command to know what is my current working directory. So I'm going to execute this particular cell, and after execution part, my present working directory is c:users slash admin. But all my files or the requirement of a file are stored in another location. So how I'm going to change my current location to a new location? Let me demonstrate it. Let us assume that this is my current location where I want all my files to be saved. So to copy this particular location, right click on it, copy address as text and move back to your Jupyter notebook. And here I'm going to change my directory as os.chdr and copy the command. Now my present working directory needs to be executed, and my second command is like to ensure what is my current working directory after the chdr command has been executed. Now I'm going to run this particular command. After execution part, I get an error. This is because certain notebooks accepts double backslash for the execution process. So I'm going to rewrite the chdr command as machine learning loading data set into data frames, and I'm going to run this particular cell. After execution, I'm getting my present working directory or the current working directory as machine learning loading data set into data frames. So whatever files I'm going to save after executing this particular Jupyter notebook, all those files will be in this particular location. Now let me start my saving file operations. Now I'm going to import the necessary packages. Import pandas as pd. Here I have created a list called as nme, which comprises of 4 names: Aparna, Pankaj, Sudhir and Geeku, and their respective degrees as MBA, BCA, MTech and MBA, and their respective score 90, 40, 80, 98. So here we have 3 lists, and the name of the list is NME, the name of another list is DEG, and the name of another list is SER. And after all the list has been created, I have to create a dictionary of list. So I'm going to create a dictionary called as DICT, where the key name is NAME and its corresponding value is NME. And you have another key name as degree, its corresponding value is DEG, and another key name is score, which its corresponding value name as SCR. Once the list is created and an appropriate dictionary of list is also created, my next job is to convert this dictionary to a pandas data frame. So for converting the dictionary to a pandas data frame, I use the command pd.dataframe. So my dictionary will now get converted into a pandas data frame, and the respective output is stored in df, and I'm displaying the output as print of df. Once the data frame has been displayed, I want to save the data frame to an CSV file. So to execute that particular context, I use my command df dot to underscore csv, and what is the name of your csv file. So all these informations are now stored in a file called as file1.csv with the corresponding header information as name, degree and score. Now let us give a try. Let me run this particular command. Run selected cell, and now my data frame, which comprises of 4 rows and 3 columns, are saved into a location called as file1.csv. And now I should ensure whether this particular file1.csv is created. How I'm going to make a ensurety or checking operations. Let us move back to the folder where I started with my operation. Loading data set into data frame is the present working directory of my operations, and now you can see a file called as file1.csv. To have a closer vigilance, let us click on it and see that the file has been created with an CSV representation. So this is the file which has been created from data frame to a CSV representation, and it is stored in the corresponding location. Let me again move back. Now let us look into the present working directory, and my present working directory is machine learning, which means all my respective files has been saved only in this particular location, which has been cross verified from our side. And that's all for your saving files. The next concept what we are going to discuss is pickling. What is a pickle module, or what is the role of a Python pickle module? In general, the concept of Python pickling or the role of Python pickle module is used for serializing and deserializing the Python object structures. And what is the main actual point to be referred over here? Here, the Python objects are list, tuples, dictionaries, right? These are all the various Python objects, right? And if you want to convert this Python objects into an byte stream representation, which means zeros and ones format, and this concept is called as serialization. So the object methods, the objects, Python objects are converted into byte streams format is called as pickling, and deserialization is the vice versa of converting the byte stream representation to an Python object. So the serializing of an object is helping you to convert its current state to a byte stream. And why do you need the serialization of objects? Whenever you want to transfer data from one particular location to another particular location, from a server, from a system, or to any other database representations, the serialization object will be of more useful. So that is the concept of pickling. Let us give a demonstration of your pickle module. For implementing the concept of pickling, I'm going to use a package called as Pickle. Now I'm going to get some data from the user, convert the data into a list representation, and then I'm going to use the concept of pickle module for converting this given data into a byte stream representation. Now let us have a closer look of this particular code. I have a variable called as number of data, and I'm going to get the number of data from the user. Right here I'm going to use an representation of int cast operator, which means I'm going to get an input which is in the form of a numerical quantity, and I have an data, or I have a list which is named as data, and right now the list is empty. Now I'm going to get the total number of values from the user, which has been stored in the variable called as number of data. So I'm going to use a simple for loop. As for I in range of number of data, I'm going to get individual data from the user, and every data which has been obtained from the user is appended to the list called as data by the command append. Once all the necessary data has been obtained from the console, I'm going to write all the content into a file, and the name of the file is called as important. Now let me run this particular cell. It's asking for the number of data. Let me give my input value as 5. Give an enter. It is asking for the first value. I am going to give 23. The second value is 67. The third value is 89. The fourth value is 12. And the fifth value is 100. Now all the values has been created and it is being stored in the list called as data. To cross verify whether the particular data has been stored in the list, let me run the command of print of data. And I give an enter, which means my inputted values 23, 67, 89, 12 and 100 are stored in the list called as data. Now I am going to use this list to get converted into a byte stream representation. For that, I am going to use a command called as pickle.dump. So the pickle.dump function is used to store the object to the file, and it takes 3 arguments. The first argument is the object you want to store. The second argument is the file object you get by opening the desired file in right binary representation, and the third argument is a key value argument. Now let us show you a demonstration of pickle.dump. So my respective list is called as data and all the informations are stored in the data, and I am going to store it in a file called as file. So pickle.dump of data comma file. So let me rename this file as sample file. Done. And let me run this particular command, which means your data list, which is in the form of an object representation, is serialized using the command pickle.dump, and the output is stored in the sample file and the appropriate file is closed. Let me run this particular command. So here I get an error name where sample file is not defined. So let me define my file. Here the name of the file I have given here is file. So let me change it as sample. Run again. Start with the operation of 5 data. Give an enter. Give appropriate input values. Once it is done, I'm going to print the data for better clarity. I'm going to use my pickle.dump file and let me rerun this command. Once it is done, my data object or the list is getting converted to a object stream called into a byte stream, and it has been stored in a sample file. And now we have to have a cross verification, right? I'm going to open the file where you stored the pickled data. So I'm going to open a file called as sample file is equal to open important comma rb, and I'm going to load the file. Let me run this command. So here I'm going to load the sample file, and now my sample file, which contains the data 12, 45, 67, 78, 89, which has been stored in the byte stream representation, has been loaded, and we get the appropriate pickled data. And we are going to use a concept of data of 0, which means since it is an list format, I want to store the values of appending a data at the front. So now I'm going to run it. After executing it, my 12 has been replaced by the value called as 1000. And the next representation is I'm going to open a file where you stored the pickled data. So open the file, load the file, and you're going to show the pickled data, which has been redone here. Now you want to display the type of data. If I run it, it gives that it is a list file. And hope everybody has understood the concept of saving files and pickling module. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you.